Hello beautiful people of the internet, it's Isabella here and I am back with another video. And today I am going to be talking about my top 10 scenes of season 2 of Legacies, episodes 1 through 16, because 17 through 20 have not been released yet, but I will be making a separate video for those two, or just completely another top 10 video for season 2 when it comes out. But for now, we're going to be doing these top 10 right now. I've had these top 10s in my mind for a while. Since the finale came out, I was like, I'm gonna make a video about it. And you guys can feel free to give y'all's opinion, but remember, these are my personal opinions, so you guys don't have to like this in this order, or you don't even have to like these scenes if you don't want to. Let's just go ahead and get into the first one. But yeah. So my number 10, so I'm going to be counting backwards. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, blah, blah, blah. So my number 10 is actually, I feel like this is a very, how do I put it? It's not a very well-known scene. A lot of people don't go back and watch it over and over again. I'm a big fan of Raphael and Landon's brothership, or their friendship or whatever, and I thought that the scene between them two in episode 207, when they're on the dock and they're talking about, you know, how Landon is not safe where he is because the monsters are after him, and Raphael's basically like, dude, you know, we're not safe here, we need to go, and it leads to them leaving to go see, and then the next episode, obviously, you see Raphael meets his dad. But the reason why I really liked this scene was because I liked how desperate Raphael was to protect Landon, because of how much he cares about him, how much he honors his friendship with him, and you really saw a bit of a storyline with Raphael at that time. While it didn't really move forward, it was a bit of a like, okay, this guy's actually gonna get a storyline maybe. And I really liked how Landon also wanted to protect everybody, and he was actually listening to what Raphael said, and it led him to actually leaving and trying to protect people that he loves.
We came to this school because there was nothing out there that was safe for us. But now it feels like this is the least safe place on Earth.
Number 9. Hope and Alaric's talk about Landon in 204 at the end. I absolutely feel like Alaric is an overhated character. Look, I personally don't hate Alaric. I think he has been always one of my favorite characters of the entire TVD universe, and I get why people might not like him. But this talk with Hope about Landon, and about how, you know, like, if you don't give it a try, how do you really know this is gonna happen? I don't know. What I wrote down is, like, Alaric for me is the most overhated character this season. I don't know why. Hope and Alaric are my favorite dynamic this season, and they have been since the beginning. While we didn't really get to see them work together towards the end of the season, the beginning and stuff was probably my favorite part of Hope and Alaric's father-daughter relationship, and it was just a really beautiful scene, and how vulnerable Hope is when she's around him, and I just think it's beautiful, especially with the whole talk about Landon and whether or not she should tell him who she is, or if she should just leave and sacrifice herself again to protect those that she loves.
What I found was the portal to Malachor. And what I'm gonna do is finish what I started at the pit. But this time I'm gonna get it right.
Number 8. This scene, I have a lot of scenes from this episode. Number 8 is Lizzie and Josie's talk in the gym in episode 206. So 206 was probably one of my favorite episodes of the entire season. I really liked this scene because it really it was like the first real talk that the twins had where they were both expressing both their sides. So they had like that one little talk in episode 1 or 2, I can't remember which episode it was, and then they had the talk when Lizzie was possessed by the Oni. But episode 6, when they're talking in the gym and Josie's basically telling her, like, you should have told me, and Lizzie was like, I was trying to protect you, and Lizzie was like, I will always be there for you no matter what. or who Landon chooses, and I just thought that it was like the first real twin talk that the girls had that wasn't one-sided, if that made sense. And it really was like the first scene that Lizzie actually listened to Josie for once and was like, okay, I'm gonna be there for you, blah blah blah. And it was just a really beautiful scene, and Jenny and Kaylee did a fantastic job with their acting as well.
What choice do you think Landon's gonna make?
I don't know. But I will be here for you, either way.
Number 7. This was higher on my list, but then a lot of episodes after happened, and I was like, okay, no, this is not really as high, but it's on there. It's my top 10. Lark and Hope's talk in episode 202, when Hope was like, I know you don't remember this, but you know you're the closest thing I have to a father. I thought it was beautiful because I always visioned Hope and Alaric to have not like a father-daughter relationship, but like a mentor type of situation. Like, I'm not a mentor-mentee situation, but like she always looked up to Alaric and she wanted to make Alaric proud, and she made that clear in episode 116, where she was like, you know, this is the part where you tell me you're proud of me. In episode 2 of season 2, where she says, you know, you probably don't remember this, but you're the closest thing I have to a father now. It's because she grew to love him as someone more than just someone she looked up to. Because she did look up to her father, so she just figured, you know, like, you're the closest thing I have to a father because I want to make you proud, and she wanted to make her father proud. And I just thought it was a beautifully written scene and a beautifully executed scene as well.
And I know you don't remember this, but you're the closest thing I have to a father now.
I had a hard time being able to fit these on here, so I kind of combined two scenes in season 2 for this. It's in the same episode, but it's Hope and Landon in 211, the floating kiss and the bathtub scene. This for me was a huge step in Hope and Landon's relationship, because in the bathtub scene beforehand, you know, Landon was going off about how much his love for Hope, how much love he has for Hope, and how he has no idea why she picked a guy like him. And the bathtub scene really led to, like, Hope realizing that this guy is able to take care of himself and she doesn't have to really worry about him as much as she thought she had to.
Devil's ivy, a toxic plant otherwise known as pothos. Yes, that was the one.
You did all that to save me?
I'd do it again and again and again.
Okay, sure.
And in the floating kiss, the floating scene before they kiss, Landon, Hope was like, you know, did you mean what you said? Do you really think you don't know why I chose you? And then she wrote that little thing. It really showed Landon that she does believe in him and she does think he's capable of doing things on her own, but she's just, you know, scared, and it's understandable, you know?
He's so patient and trusting and kind and 1,000 other things I never was. So if all I ever have is the memory of the way he loved me, then I will survive this.
I just thought for those two scenes, they were a big jump for Handon in relationship-wise. It was probably my favorite Handon scene, too, this season and season 1 combined. But it was just a beautiful step for their relationship, and I want more. So my number 5, this was also a difficult one, but MG and Lizzie's doc conversation in episode 215. So, 215? Was it 215? No, you know what? I think it was 216. 216. Yeah, the finale, the series finale. The spring finale. Too many S's. Where they're talking and Lizzie is giving the whatchamacallit, the thing that you give at a funeral. I don't know the name of it. Don't judge my life right now. It's 8 o'clock in the evening. Something that you give at the funeral. And she's basically like, you know, MG's never gonna get his and blah blah blah. So she's listing off these things about him, and I just really thought It was a beautiful scene between two friends. While I want more, it looks like they're leaning towards just a friendship right now, even though we got the kiss. It had one of my favorite Lizzie lines in it, and the line had to do with him always, you know, finding the light or something, stepping out in the light and dancing his feet. Whatever that little line that she said right there, it was probably one of my favorite Lizzie lines, and that's why it made my top 5.
He danced like a sparkler and smiled like the sun. He wrote a new story every day and reminded me to always find the light.
Okay, number 4 is Josie and Landon's talk in 206 at the dock. I wasn't a fan necessarily of Save Jandon. I didn't mind them. I thought they were cute, and you guys know I thought they were cute. I just didn't think they should have ended up together or had more of a relationship than they did already. But this scene was a scene where I feel Josie became less codependent on what she finally made a decision on her own without somebody giving her advice beforehand or telling her what to do. So she had a choice to make whether or not to keep Hope a secret and continue on her relationship with Landon, or tell everybody and get their memories back and let everybody remember Hope, because Hope is missing. And she really was like, I had to stop being so selfish. And it was a part in Landon and Josie's relationship where it was like, we've both been through so much right now, and we, both had something missing. We just didn't know what it was, and it was connected, but we found each other within. And I just thought it was a very beautiful scene.
Hope's family was missing a piece of their life too. I needed to see that for myself so I would stop being so selfish.
Alright, my top 3 now, guys. Who's ready? Yay! My number 3 is Hope and Simu Landon's conversation in episode 207. This episode was probably one of the funnier episodes for me, but this conversation was beautifully written. We finally got Hope to listen to what Landon actually thinks, because all the times that she was having the conversations with her Simu Landon or whatever, it was just basically her subconscious telling her that he didn't want her anymore and that he was happier. But this was actually Landon's subconscious basically saying, nobody's happier without you, we need you here, he wants you to stay. And I felt like Hope really needed that, especially at this time that everybody remembers her, but they weren't really talking to her, especially Landon, who was just basically giving her the cold shoulder the entire time. And everything that Simu Landon did, or subconscious Landon did, she needed to hear in order to come to the decision that she wanted to stay. But this was obviously before he ended up leaving, but the conversation that they had really led to her reason to stay, because, she needed to hear it.
I'm not afraid to admit that I'm a coward, but he is. That's why he can't say he wants you to stay. That's why he's not here right now sharing how he feels about you.
Number 2. I freaking love this scene. This entire execution from these two actors were incredible. Episode 212, Kai Parker Screwed Us. Josie and Kai's phone call before he jumped into Malivore, and listen, I love the dynamic between Josie and Kai. I always thought, for me, Lizzie would be the one to have more of a connection with Kai, but now that I see it, and I see Josie and Kai together on screen, it makes a lot of sense that they have more in common. But the execution of the scene is what really sold it for me, because first of all, Chris went into the episode like he never left, like he's been playing Kai for years, even after the Vampire Diaries ended, and I thought that was spectacular. And him and Kaylee the chemistry was perfect, and it just made the execution of what made this scene so memorable to me. And it was like the first scene that came to my mind. I know it couldn't be number 1, but I knew it was going to be at least my top 3, and the execution is what sold it for me.
In order to use that sand clock, you have to break it. And when you get hit with all that black magic, if it doesn't kill you, it's going to turn you into something dark and evil. But you'll also be powerful enough to make your own door out of here, so.
Okay. before we get to my number one, I wanted to throw in a few honorable mentions for you. So please enjoy these while you wait.
I loved you when I couldn't remember you. I love you as I'm standing here right now. Hope I loved you when I was dead. I think I always will.
Hope, Andrea Michelson.
Hope. Joe sent you.
Number one, the one you guys have been waiting for. This episode was not my favorite. Honestly, this episode was probably the worst, not one of the worst ones for me. And it was from the series, why do I fucking keep saying series? I don't know. Spring finale. Kaylee freaking bombed, not like bombed in a bad way, sold this scene. Like, she did freaking amazing in this scene. It's where she's talking to Dark Josie in the cabin, and she's basically like, I created a world, or I created a story where being evil or being powerful was evil, and being weak is blah blah blah. Whoever wrote that freaking monologue is one of my favorite monologues of the entire season. Kaylee freaking, she's just amazing. She did freaking amazing in that episode. She slayed that scene, and the ability to go between Dark Josie and Soft Josie. I honestly don't know what to say. All I know is that the execution was incredible, and whoever wrote it is my new best friend, because it was perfect. And I think really it helped Josie move on, because she obviously was so afraid to confront this darkness that's inside of her head. She'd just be like, you know, now it's okay to be good and be strong. It's not saying necessarily saying that if you're strong, you're evil, you know what I mean? She's like, Hope is strong and she's good. And I really thought, you know, it was just a beautiful way to end Dark Josie's story, kind of. But even though I know Dark Josie's gonna come back, but yeah, I just thought it was beautiful, and it was one of my favorite scenes of the entire season. And yeah,
I was afraid of being strong. I thought being strong meant hurting Lizzie.
Is what being strong looks like.
Or being like Guy. I told myself that being powerful meant being evil. But it doesn't.
alright guys, thank you for tuning into this video. I hope you enjoyed. I know it was a little different than my usual videos, but I am not going to be reacting for a little bit. I don't know what to react to, so if you have any suggestions. I don't know if I'm going to react to Buffy, because, I mean, I can if you guys want me to. It's just a lot of episodes. But if you want me to react to Buffy, let me know. And I hope you guys are enjoying your hiatus. Please be safe. Remember to stay inside. My state is on lockdown, so I am inside all the time. But if we want this to go away, we got to protect ourselves and protect the virus from spreading anymore. But I love you guys. Thank you guys for what you do. Tuning in when I post. I know I don't post much. I'm trying to post more. I'm going to make a few of these type of videos with TVD and the originals as well. And I'll see you guys with my next video. You're beautiful. Stay beautiful. And yeah, wash you.